Evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of our lockdown sessions. We're going to do things ever so slightly different today. So there is no recorded strength section in today's workout. What we have got is our warm-up, same as always, and then we have got 3 9-minute sections. Okay, so 3 9-minute sections. Those 9-minute sections are going to be hard effort. It is going to be our high intensity interval training. It is going to be bringing the intensity up high as you can, or as high as you can maintain for each of those 9-minute blocks. You'll get plenty of rest in between each of the blocks, and there's going to be, like I said, well, 3 of them. So we're going to start off with a little flow, still based on walkout, same as always, because I love a good walkout. I think it is one of the most effective ways to warm up. So the flow goes through in stages. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and walk out onto the floor. So you're actually going to walk right out, chest down onto the floor. From there, scorpion kick to the right, scorpion kick to the left. We'll come on back up into a press-up position. Long lunge, twist on that side. Same thing on the other side. Big twist. And then from there, walk yourself back into almost a standing position. You're going to do 3 deep squats in that position. And then we start again. So we're going to go through this together now. So we're going to go through this together. We're going to go for just 4 minutes on this one. So 4 minutes of this warm up. Let me just start my timer. It is the, and I'll go through that with you. I'll remind you what everything is as we go along. So first part we do, walk out and lie on the floor. Going in, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So walk out, chest onto the floor, arms out, scorpion kick to the right, scorpion kick to the left, and from there, press up position, runner's lunge or wide mountain climber, whatever you want to call it, with that twist, step back, step forward on the other side, big twist. From there, back up onto your feet, and then 3 deep squats. And again, just working through that at your own pace. Chest onto the floor, arms out, scorpion kick right, scorpion kick left, press up position, wide mountain climber, nice big twist. Step back, step forward on the other side, nice big twist, back up onto your feet, and deep squats. Try and get right down into it as much as you can, hips up into the air, and then drop back down into it. I've changed things about in terms of my setup for today's workout, because I'll need to do a little bit more jumping around, and I don't fancy falling off my makeshift stage. So we're going onto the floor, so I've moved my camera to a different part of the gym. Again, that nice twist. As always, make sure that you have got a nice secure surface to be training on. If you're training in socks, stay off the tiles. Don't be sliding around. Make sure you're going to be in that kind of comfortable kind of, you're going to be in comfortable workout gear, of course, but also stuff that gives you plenty of grip, that you're not going to be slipping and sliding and at risk of falling. So again, taking you through that. Walk out, chest onto the floor, arms out, scorpion kick right, scorpion kick left. And we're into that wide mountain climber. We're about halfway through. So again, just flow through this. Now, if you find at any stage, remember this is the warm up. If you find that you find the runner's lunges more effective than the scorpion kick, maybe skip the scorpion kick and do more of the runner's lunges. You know, make it work for your body, okay? So make it work for your body. The key is that we get all the major joints moving. So we're getting the hamstrings warmed up with that deep squat. It's not about being perfect. It's not about following exactly what I'm doing, because I have no doubt that some of you guys are fitter than I am. It's about getting yourself ready for the session ahead. So again, from the start, it would be walk out onto the floor, scorpion kick right, scorpion kick left. Then you're into these wide mountain climbers, or runner's lunges, whatever you want to call them, with that twist, and then the 3 deep squats. So the deep squats, you're going to try and stay folded over. Now I've grabbed my toes. If you're not quite that flexible, you can grab shoelaces, ankles, even just the backs of your legs, and just use it into that deep squat. Come back up, deep squat, come back up 3 times. It's good. So you still got another 30 seconds. So still with that walkout, chest onto floor, into that scorpion kick, right and left. You'll get a minute to recover before we launch into our first mini circuit. Now all the circuits are the same. They have 5, 10, 20 reps, and you work through each one of those. But I'll explain a little bit more in just a second. Okay, relax there, guys, relax there. So should at this stage now have the heart rate up just a little bit. Shouldn't be gasping for air yet, but you should definitely have your heart rate elevated a little bit. Grab yourself a drink if you need it. If you do have any extra mobilizations, anything you feel you need extra on top of what we've already done, now is the time to do it. Make sure that you're getting yourself loosened up. Make sure you're getting yourself ready for the session ahead. Now, what we're going to look at, like I said, is 3 exercises. So 3 exercises only in this first block. It's going to be 5 reps of the first exercise, 10 reps of the second exercise, and 20 reps of the third exercise. And the goal is to get through as many rounds as possible, So what we've got is an upper body, a lower body, and a cardio exercise. So first exercise is going to be 5 press-ups. So chest onto the floor and back up. 4 and 5. Then we've got our skater squats. Now again, I've got this entire closed gym to work with, so I have got plenty of room, so I can go into the explosive version where I launch myself 1, 2, and really push out with that distance. Now if you don't have that space, you can come into a curtsy lunge where you come down that crossover, which is a little bit narrower, doesn't take up as much space. But if you do have the space, try and make it that little bit more explosive, that 1, 2, 3, 4 for 10 reps. When you've done 10 reps, onto your feet, up nice and tall, and then it's 20 high knees, 20 high knees. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until you've done 20. That's 1 round. You do as many rounds as possible in the space of 9 minutes. Okay, so really quickly, I'll go through that one more time. So you've got your 5 press-ups. When you've done your 5 press-ups, you then come into your skater squats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got your 20 high knees. 1, 2, 3. Each knee coming up counts as 1. So let's get ready to go. 9 minutes, non-stop. As many rounds in as you can squeeze. Going in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Off we go. I'll set this out here so I can see it. So again, the press ups, because now this isn't a recorded strength workout, this is more just about getting your heart rate up and getting working. The goal is with those press ups, I want you to do the hardest version you can manage with good form. So of course, if you can do them on your toes, yes, I want you to do them on your toes. If you can go harder than that, you can put your feet up on a step, do them slightly upside down, slight decline, but make them fit to your current level of fitness. So if you find that you really struggle to do press-ups on your toes, just drop your knees, keep going. If you find that's tough, what we can do is actually grab another piece of kit. So a chair, or a box, or a kitchen worktop, depends where you are in your house or your flat doing your workout at the moment. So again, you can just elevate the press-ups. So you stay on your toes, but by elevating your hands, you make those press-ups a little bit easier. But choose the most suitable variant for yourself. And again, keep moving. If that variant changes in this one, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it goes, you start off dead hard, but fatigue means that you have to keep changing the easier options. That's absolutely fine. That is not an issue. If you need to change to an easier option, that's fine. Goal is to try and get as many rounds done as possible throughout this year. So again, your skater squats, 10 reps, that's 5 right, 5 left, and that's that 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's a more explosive version, so you can see how on a rugby field how that might be useful, whether you play touch, whether you play contact in 7s or in full 15s. What you'll find is that push off the outside foot will help you evade players, and the stronger that is, so the stronger you can get a push off, the more easy it is for you to implement that on the field. Now again, if you don't have the room, if you don't have that room to jump from side to side, maybe there's 2 of you in the living room working together at the same time. Maybe you just don't have that much room. You've got the option to do a curtsy lunge, which is cross over, drop the knee onto the floor, come back up. So you're still strengthening that same side to side maneuver, that same move that'll actually help you with evasion on the field. But the only difference is that it's not as explosive. So it's still training the same movement. It's just not as applicable on the field. It just builds that background strength. Just means it's something else you'd have to work on when you get onto the training pitch. Hopefully, according to yesterday, in relatively soon. We're obviously waiting on updates from the RFU. Find out when we can get back to training. For those of us that play the 15s game, whether we go back and train immediately, considering of course our season's basically over, our non-existent season is basically over. Do we go back to training just for the fun of it? I hope so, because I'm missing it. But for the guys that play touch, there's obviously, as we discussed last week, touch my brum. You know, there's plenty to train for coming up quite soon. We are 3 minutes 40 gone, so you're well over a third of the way through. Again, a little reminder of what we've got. So again, you've got your 5 press-ups. So you've got your 5 press-ups, again, whatever variation you choose. Then you have got your explosive skitter squats, so getting nice and low and exploding out each time. And then you've got your 20 high knees. When you've done those 20 high knees, that's 1 round. And you just keep cycling through. At this stage, hopefully, you're well beyond 1 round. So 5 press-ups, 10 skater squats, and 20 high knees. Yep, 20 high knees. Now, the only difference with high knees is that there's not really much of an alternative there. What I do want you to do, though, is if you've done right and left equal in 2 reps, so that being 1, 2, that's the way you stick to it. If you've done it the other way around, so you've done right leg and left leg is only 1 rep, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So be it, you stick with that one as well. It's just still going to be hard work. Just means you're going to end up with less rounds overall, okay? We're almost at 5 minutes. You've actually broken through the halfway point without me even noticing. 5 press-ups, 10 skater squats, 20 high knees. 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, 20. Now, no matter what we do in any of the 3 circuits, that is going to be our overall goal. 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, 20. Let's have a little look around the houses, around the goals with that skater squats. Yeah, a couple of different variations going in there. A couple of people doing the explosive one, a couple of people doing the slightly more sedate, more controlled one. And again, that's absolutely fine. Again, actually worth mentioning, doesn't matter if you're training in basically a warehouse like I am. If you have any sort of knee or hip or ankle instability that you are currently concerned about, yeah, take it down a notch. Don't go into that explosiveness just yet. This is your workout. It's not my workout. You guys get out what you put in. So put in as much as you feel comfortable with. There we go. 6 minutes gone. 6 minutes gone. So you've only got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. If anybody's paying attention to me and not doing the exercises, you realize I somehow can't count on my fingers. But you've got 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes remaining. So again, last time I'll go through this. You should know this by now. You've got your 5 press-ups. You have got your 10 skater squats or your curtsy lunges and 20 high knees. 20 high knees. That is our circuit, our first circuit. You will get at least 2 minutes to recover. between these blocks. So technically each circuit will last 11 minutes. We're looking good though. I'm enjoying this slightly warmer weather. I mean, it's not quite sunshine and rainbows just yet, but it's better than freezing my arse off outside in about 25 different layers. Less than 2 minutes to go. Less than 2 minutes to go. This is good. Curtsy lunges look good from the guys I can see doing those. That's good. With that skater squat, try and get low into it. So again, it's partly about shifting your weight from side to side, but also try and get low so you actually sink into it. So to give you a view from the side, you drop the hips and explode up. So there is still a squat element to it. Okay. Again, if you're doing that slightly taller version just because of knee or hip problems, fine. But try and drop into it as much as you comfortably can, You've got 1 minute left, 63 seconds to be a bit more specific. So 60 seconds left now, 60 seconds, that's all you've got. I've not learned my lesson from last week. I'm here at the camera, my timer's all the way over there, so I'm squinting and looking at it as we try and finish. But it is 9 minutes, of which you've only got 3/4 of a minute left. 45 seconds is all we have left. Keep working right to the very end and just absolutely go for it. This year already, because we're not focusing on a strength section this week, we should already be puffing hard. This should be hard work, okay? This should really get the heart rate elevated because it's an upper body exercise, a lower body exercise, and a cardio exercise, which is kind of the theme of what we've got with all three of these. So we're working different parts of the body, which forces the heart to work that little bit harder as it tries to get blood pumping first to the upper body, then to the lower body, and then all over the place. Going in, or resting in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, guys, rest there, rest there. Feel free to have a seat, have a lie down if you worked hard enough through that one. We are on to our second circuit. Now, I promise the first circuit, it's done. You will not come back to any of those exercises for the rest of the session, so you can forget the first circuit now. We move on to circuit number 2. Circuit number 2 is going to be burpees to begin with. I know, but they had to be in there somewhere. So burpees to begin with. Squat jacks as exercise number 2. Some of you might not be familiar with that one. And then we have got a cross-body mountain climber, or if anybody wants to take it up a notch, we've got a drunken mountain climber, all of which I will demonstrate now. So you've got your 5 burpees. So 5 burpees, you could either go for a slightly easier version, hands down, feet out, feet in, jump up, or a slightly harder version, which is feet out, chest onto the floor, and jump up. So basically the same exercise. Get onto the floor, get back up. Exercise number 2, squat jacks. So all that's going to happen is feet together, feet apart, touch the floor, touch the floor. And it's just that. Together, apart. Together, apart. Make sure to squat down each time, touch the floor each time. You want a challenge? Get your knuckles to touch the floor. Your real challenge, get your palm of your hand to touch the floor. So it's getting really deep into that squat jack each time. Exercise number 3, cross-body mountain climber. You get your right knee to touch your left elbow and your left knee to touch your right elbow. And you just basically go into that mountain climber, but bring the knees across the body each time. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to make it really challenging, a drunken mountain climber, same thing, but you get onto your forearms. Why it's called a drunken climber, I do not know. So from there, it's still the same thing, knee under and across the body, but not hitting the floor. That's 20 reps, okay? So you got 5 burpees, 10 squat jacks, and 20 of those cross-body mountain climbers. There's our 2 minutes of rest. So let's get ourselves ready for our next round, Going in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go for it. Off we go. 9 more minutes. Now again, I gave 2 variations of the burpee, but if you need easier variations, if you need to take the impact out of it, you can do a stepping burpee. So it's just hands down, step, 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 and stand up. So it takes the impact out of it, but it's the same exercise. You're still getting yourself onto the floor. You're still getting yourself off the floor. That is what we're looking for. The squat jacks, remember? So the 10 squat jacks is feet together. 1, feet together. 2, feet together. 3. Each time, drop right down into it. So make sure it is a squat. So you're actually coming down into a squat position. You're not just doing this where you lean over. You're actually dropping your hips into it, making sure it's a squat. And then your cross-body mountain climber or your drunken mountain climber. Try that drunken mountain climber, see how it feels. Just a little bit more intense because you got to really brace through the core to keep your knees off the floor. I have a theory that it's called a drunken mountain climber because you have to lie down, you have to have more stability through the plank position as opposed to on your hands. But that's a guess more than anything else, really, I have to admit. Minute and a half gone, minute and a half gone. This is good. So again, full body movements, really getting a lot of things moving. Obviously, you know, if you live in a flat, try and land softly so you're not pissing off your downstairs neighbours. They're stuck in the house 23 hours a day, same as the rest of us. I say that, says me, not in my house, in my gym at the moment. Let's keep working though, okay? So you are just under 2 minutes gone. So you've got just over 7 minutes left to go. And you know, as with most personal trainers and coaches, I do derive a little bit, just a little bit of joy telling you that. I think as much as it's a stereotype, and I'm not there to punish my clients or to just beat them up, there is still, you know, that teeny element that, you know, that does get pleased by. So again, let's go through those exercises again at this stage. So we've got our 5 burpees. So again, chest to floor each time, if you can. Then straight into your squat jacks. Try and keep them quite springy, so you never really stand still. So it's that touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each time, keep working through that. And then you're straight down into your cross-body mountain climbers or your drunken mountain climbers. That's 1, 2, 3, 6. And that'll be 1 round. Following that 1 round, start again. You guys know what you're doing now. Let's have a little look around the houses, see how things are going. Looks pretty good there at the minute. That's good with those squat jacks. Just make sure you get those hips down each time. Nice, I'm seeing somebody there going for burpees with the tuck jump. Because I said I had a little bit of you know, a little touch of sadism, you know, just the teeniest, you know, sprinkle of it. This person's choosing to do chest to floor burpees with the tuck jump voluntarily. So I'd say don't cross them. For anybody that's not sure, I'm sure plenty of you are. Burpees with a tuck jump. Chest to floor. Instead of jumping up, you jump. Knees up into the chest, high as you can. You've got to be really explosive. You get your knees right up into your own armpits, so it's getting right off the floor, and then right into that next rep. Right into that next rep. 4.5 minutes gone. 4.5 minutes gone. So you are halfway through this one. So that's let's keep working. Now again, you can hear, because it's high intensity, I demo 1 or 2 of these reps, and I'm already, you know, huffing and puffing. You can hear it. So you guys should not be surprised if you're struggling to breathe or struggling to maintain that intensity. If you do have to have a rest, 20 to 30 seconds, a couple of deep breaths, grab a drink, and go again. Just really, really push. Try and get in as many good rounds as you possibly can. Try not to let the form break down. You can move to an easier exercise, that's fine, but don't let it break down to a stage where where basically the form becomes dangerous, where you're more likely to injure yourself, or too sloppy. That means you're not having the desired effect. So make sure that it's still recognizably a burpee, a squat jack, and a mountain climber. For those of you, I know, actually, there we go, as a reminder from last week, I know a couple of you have shoulder issues, which may mean that the mountain climbers are really difficult. So if they are difficult, you can do a bicycle crunch. So a bicycle crunch being that knee across the body instead of coming into the mountain climber position, which should take some of the pressure off the shoulders. Okay, so that's another option. Apologies for forgetting until we're about 2/3 of the way through, but that is also an option. That is also an option. That takes the pressure off. Like I say, it takes the pressure off the shoulder joint, particularly if you do have any shoulder issues. Because let's face it, we play rugby. It is something that is an occupational hazard at times, considering, especially if you're playing contact. You are meant to run into people. Of course, that's in defense. You're meant to run into people, not necessarily running into people in attack and try to evade people in attack. We've talked about this. Guys, we're almost 7 minutes in, so just over 2 minutes to go, just over 2 minutes to go. The good news is that'll be 2 circuits down with just 1 left to go and a little cool down flow just to finish off with. So slightly different kind of cool down. We're not going to do a stretch today. We're just going to flow through a few different kind of mobility exercises, very, very similar to what we did in the warm-up. Just go through a little bit of flow, really just sort of making the exercises as smooth as possible. At that stage, if you feel you want to spend a bit more time stretching, you can use that time to stretch as well, whatever way you feel or whichever makes you feel more comfortable. So again, last time, 5 burpees, 10 squat jacks, 20 cross-body mountain climbers is what we're aiming for each time. So I'm looking forward to when we can get back to rugby. And I can see the guys who have, been doing these sessions alongside me, all haven't gotten better gains, because as I'm sitting walking around the room talking you through it, you guys are actually doing the work and beating me at my own game. So I fully expect, particularly obviously the Spartans, I expect them to be running rings around me on the training field while I'm blowing out my arse trying to explain the drill that's going on. We are in our final minute. You've got 50 seconds remaining, 5-0. In case anybody's wondering, I'm not actually drinking coffee out of that tonight. I've left my water bottle at home, so I'm having to drink my water out of that. I'm not insane drinking coffee at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm in my 30s now at this stage. Can't be doing that if I want to sleep. Let's keep working, guys. Keep working. So you've got 25 seconds remaining. 25 seconds remaining. Let's keep it going. Apologies for that. Coming in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. 9 minutes gone, 9 minutes gone. That is us. 2 circuits down, 1 circuit left to go. Like I said, you have got 2 minutes in between, or at least 2 minutes in between. You had about 2 minutes 30 in the last one. So grab yourselves a drink, have a seat, have a lie down if you need it, and get ready for the last one. So the last one is going to be, again, same way we've done it the whole way through, 5, 10, 20 in terms of reps. Still only 3 exercises. So we're going to go for 5 get-ups. Okay, so 5 get-ups. So a get-up is starting from the floor, and like Ron said, it does what it says on the tin. So it is getting up. That's 1. 2. So just get up and down off the floor. Some of you might be a little bit more flexible than I am and be able to get directly onto your feet and back onto the floor. If you can, brilliant, do that. If not, take it in as many stages as possible. Try not to use your hands on the floor. Try and keep your hands off the floor if possible. Exercise number 2 is going to be a plank to press. So I'll do this one facing the camera. It's going to be plank position, up onto your hands, back down onto your elbows. That's 1 rep. 2 reps. You're going to go for 10 of those. When you've done that, you're then going to go for 20 either jumping lunges, or if you want to take the impact out of it, reverse lunges. So your jumping lunge would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're not comfortable with that impact, it's 10 reps on each side, where it's just that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's up to you which one you decide to go for, but that's 5 get-ups, 10 plank to press, and 20 jumping lunges. Okay, so 20 jumping lunges, or if you need slightly less impact, you come into the reverse lunges as your alternative exercise. Let's get ready for our last one. You've had your 2 minutes of rest. I'll join in for at least 1 round on this one. Going in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Off we go. So we're starting off with those 5 get-ups. So again, you may be more flexible than I am. I can get down on from my feet straight to the floor, but I can't get back up. So you may be able to get right down onto the floor in one go, but you may also be able to reverse that movement right to the top. I can't, so I have to go 1 knee and then stand. It's absolutely fine. You go for 5 reps. Following those 5 reps, it's 10 plank to press. So 10 plank to press. You come from the plank position into a press up position. Now, you won't get in as many rounds as the previous exercises, purely because these exercises take a little bit longer to do. So it's going to eat into your time a little bit more, so you're just not going to squeeze in as many. So your plank to press. If anybody wants an extra arm workout, can they get down onto both elbows at the same time? So that tiger bend style movement. So again, my mat sliding out of the way, so I'll just move forward slightly. So again, that as you come down, try and drop onto both elbows and then back up onto both hands. But alternately, down onto an elbow, drop the other one down, and then back up again. Once you've done 10 reps, ooh, my colleague just timed that perfectly. So the reason I disappeared off screen a few minutes ago was just to give him somewhere to put down his barbell that he's brought in from outdoors. You guys probably can't hear that, but the rain has just started thundering on the roof ahead. So he's just timed that perfectly for coming indoors. For finishing off with his client. It's good though. We are 2 minutes gone. 2 minutes gone. Following that, those plank to press. Remember, you've got either your jumping lunges or your reverse lunges. Your jumping lunges, just nice and springy. Nice quick change. Try and land softly. Don't let your knee bounce off the floor. It's not what your kneecap's made for. It won't thank you for it. Although if you do want to take that impact out of it, just standard on the spot, reverse lunge. So step back, nice deep lunge, right back into it, and pop back up to standing. Try and make it one smooth movement with that reverse lunge. So it's not a step back, then a lunge, then a step forward. It's all those step back, step forward. Nice and springy, nice and springy. Get down as far as you feel comfortable with. Isn't that good? I'm seeing there a couple as we go around the houses, a couple of people that are more flexible than I am. They're able to get right up and down from their feet onto the bum with no step in between. This is good. So again, rather than going into a split squat, try and make sure you come back to standing each time. So that reverse lunge goes back and straight back to standing. So feet together at the start and finish of each rep. So it's that step back, step, feet together, step back, feet together, rather than that split squat motion, which we've done in previous weeks. There is your foot moves back and forward if you're doing the reverse lunge rather than the jumping lunge. For anybody that's watching via Facebook Live, I'm just going through a couple of the guys on other screens that I'm just seeing at the corner of my screen. I'm just going through sort of improvements for those. So if you are tuning in on Facebook Live, brilliant, welcome. It is great to see so many people tuning in from wherever. But it's really, really helpful for me and can be really helpful for you as well if you are able to tune in through the Zoom, because if you can tune in there, I can see you, and also when I can see you, I can give you feedback and help you make the exercises more effective where necessary. You are approaching halfway, 4 minutes and 20 seconds gone, so you've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. But again, 5 get-ups, 10 plank to press, and then 20 jumping lunges or 20 reverse lunges. Either of those choices is absolutely fine. And again, remember, like I've said before, I've said it in previous weeks, I've said it today, this is your workout. You get out what you put into it, okay? So if you want to stand there and do nothing for 9 minutes, that's absolutely fine. That being said, yeah, looks like everybody is moving. That being said, if you want to, you need to throw in an alternative, that's absolutely fine. Throw in an alternative, try and keep it something similar. So for instance, if you struggle with lunges, maybe your balance isn't great, you've had maybe previous ankle sprains, which means that you're all over the place, just come into some squats. Some squats is a perfectly fine alternative if you need it. Similar idea, plank to press, like we talked about the shoulder joint in the previous one. If you need an alternative for that, just to do a back-based exercise. So you could come into, as an example, this is just an example, it doesn't have to be the one that you choose. You could do a hollow body position, which is just that, holding that lower back pressed into the floor. Sorry, I just got a notification that came through my headphone and it completely threw me off. So I don't know who it was from. I didn't know exactly what was going on there, but you could do any number of variations. But remember, what you've got here is a full body exercise, a core exercise, and a leg exercise. You can swap in any full body exercise, any core exercise, any leg exercise, and get a similar training effect, especially because we're not focusing on the strength side of it now. We're just focusing on the high intensity part. We're trying to work hard for the sake of that 9 minutes, so really, really pushing into it. Okay, we have got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. So keep working it right to the very, very end. If you are sticking with the standard circuit or the prescribed circuit, it is your 5 get-ups, your 10 plank to press, and your 20 jumping lunges or your 20 reverse lunges. Either one of those is absolutely fine. You can do whichever version you prefer out of those two. Let's just make sure you keep working as hard as possible, okay? Hard as possible. You got less than 2 minutes. You got about a minute and 40 seconds remaining. A minute and 40 seconds remaining. So 5 get-ups, 10 plank to press, 20 jumping lunges. That is our goal. That is what we want to try and keep working, keep pushing right to the very end. Do not allow yourself to slow down, especially because now we are into our last circuit. This is our last 9 minute circuit, our last block. This is the last one where the intensity comes in, okay? So keep pushing as hard as you can. Again, if you have any reserves, now is the time to use it because you've got less than 60 seconds to go. Less than 60 seconds to go. So now start turning on that 110%. I actually hate that. I hate that as a PT. It's never about giving 110%. You cannot give more than 100%. But if you have been working at 95%, I want that last 5% now. If you've been working at 99%, I want that last percent now. So I want everything you've got into this last 35 seconds, okay? Last 35 seconds. You have 5 get-ups. Spring up onto the floor. Lie back down. Spring up onto the floor, up onto your feet again. your 10 plank to press, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, get into a good rhythm with it. Or your bicycle crunch, I've seen somebody was doing there as an alternative, get your bicycle crunch done. Your reverse lunges, really step back, drive forward into it each time. Any variation is absolutely fine to work through. You've got just 10 seconds, hard as you can for the last 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, guys, relax. Okay, you've got a minute to recover, a minute to rest, and then we're just going to come into a few different exercises where we're just going to try and flow through the last few exercises. We're going to try and flow through our little cool down in the same way that we did the warm up. But rather than go through everything, we're going to go through sort of one move, focus on that for a minute, swap to the next move, focus on that for a minute, and we're going to work our way through the cool down that way. At this point, while you're resting, while you're grabbing yourself a drink, it's always worth saying, if you do have any feedback, anything along those lines, guys, get in touch. I am on at Neil Gallagher Training on Facebook and Instagram. Alternatively, you can send me an email, neil@stockportgym.com. And yeah, any feedback, tagging me in your stories would all be really, really appreciated. Anything you want me to try and put into future sessions, let me know and I will do my best to put it in there for you. Okay, guys, so let's move into our first one. We're going to come into our first cool down flow. And it can be a little bit tricky. You'll need a little bit of room, not a huge amount. If you've done everything, you should have enough room already. But we're going to come into a sit out. Now, my knees are going to be just off the floor. I'm going to try and keep my back flat. Now I'm going to lift my right hand, which is the one nearest the camera, and I'm going to bring my left foot underneath. So I'm going to come through. So I'm sitting on the floor. So I've lifted right hand, left foot comes through, and then I'm going to pivot back to that same position. So sit out and back to that same position. Sit out and back to that same position. Just working through that, nice and easy. In that position, just left hand stays planted, right hand lifts up, and you pivot round. 3, 2, 1, let's go for it. So again, that pivot round, sit on the floor, back to your knees are on the floor. Knees come up, pivot, and back out. Pivot, and back out each time. Again, just try and focus on making the movement as smooth as possible. Can be a little bit tricky to kind of get the focus of it, but when you sit down, you should be sitting from as close to your hand as you can get it. If you get it wrong and you end up sort of sat way back there, that's fine. Just get the next rep and focus on trying to get your hips out, hips onto your close to your hand each time. What you've probably figured out, you've probably guessed, my next one is going to be the same exercise on the opposite side. So I'm going to pivot the other way, just so I'm not turning my back on you in this one. Where is my timer? There it is. So we're going to swap over in 5 seconds. So this time you lift your left hand and your right foot comes through. Changing in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So again, that's sit out. Bum gets close to my hand, and then a pivot back onto my toes, and knees drop to the floor. Again, nice and smooth. Sit out and back. Remember, this is a cool down. Just take it nice and easy. We're not trying to get in millions of reps. Drop out, drop back, drop out, drop back each time. So try and scoot. So this is just about making you a little bit more efficient moving around on the floor, because I think no matter what code you play, 7s, 15s, or touch, touch maybe a little bit less so, but you'll end up on the floor at some stage, whether you fell over or you tripped or you accidentally bumped into somebody. The faster you can get back up and into the game, the better. So if you can focus on that movement quite well. Now, from there, we're going to come into a nice one for the lower back, and you guys can up the intensity or set the intensity at what you'd have. I'm going to start off with the easiest version. So knees bent, feet flat on the floor, arms out wide to the side, and all I want you to do is just come into that little windshield wiper. Just let the knees rock from side to side. Now it's up to you. What you can do is you can make that a little bit more intense by bringing your feet off the floor. Rocking from side to side just provides a deeper twist around the lower back. Key thing, try and keep your shoulders on the floor. So try not to come into that habit where you end up off the floor. You try to keep your shoulders flat as you can anyway. if you want to make it even more intense, you have your feet off the floor as straight up into the air as you can manage, because again, that makes that twist that bit deeper. But for me, that lifts my shoulder off the floor. So I go back to that one because that's the one I prefer. Feet off the floor, nice deep twist. Remember, we're not looking to turn this into a core exercise. So nice and easy across. We're not trying to keep the core braced. I'm trying to turn it into like a windshield wiper exercise. Now for the last one, I got time-wise. Yeah, close enough. So for the last one, you're going to stay lying on the floor, but just going to do this sat up so I can show you the shape. I want you to bring your arms into that shape. Okay, so the hands up, don't shoot kind of action. And then I want you to slide them on the floor to above your head and then slide them back down. Get your elbows as close to your side as possible. Now, as you do this, try and keep as much of your arm in touch with the floor as possible. So you want the back of your hand, the back of your forearm, and the side of your upper arm on the floor or in touch as close to the floor as you can. So it should look like this or something like this. Reach back and slide down. Reach back, slide down each time. Try and keep your arms in touch with the floor, feeling that squeeze between your shoulder blades as you bring your elbows down, feeling that stretch as you rise up overhead. So this is just one, it actually helps your shoulder blades move a little bit more effectively because your shoulder blades should be able to move across your back, help support your shoulder joint. It's just a really nice one just to help teach that movement. Now, if you don't have the flexibility, if your hand won't touch the floor, doesn't matter, just get it as close as you comfortably can the whole way through. So you may find if you have any previous shoulder injuries that as you come down, one hand comes off the floor, so be it. Got another 20 seconds, just for that one, nice and easy. Again, we're not setting records for how many reps you can do. We're not trying to start a fire using the backs of your arms against the floor. It's just that nice smooth movement is all we're aiming for. Last 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, so if you did do that all the way through, guys, give yourself a nice little pat on the back, a round of applause for yourselves. Well done. Thank you for joining me on this. It is great to see so many of you turning into regular viewers now, which is brilliant. And as always, any feedback, anything along those lines, guys, just get in touch and I will do my best to factor that into future sessions, all right? But for now, this is Neil, signing off.
Cheers, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, Neil. Go have your dinner.
Thank you.
Cheers, Josh.
See you. Bye.